must love this Scotty Scheffler Belichick talk, Professor. I'm sure it's inspiring to you.
Well, you do it every week. Like you are so far up Scotty Scheffler's ass.
I did text you yesterday.
That
Higher. I thought you might want to tune in.
we've talked about it a million times. I don't get it. We hate on all these guys. The new one, Miles Garrett. Ooh, he was speeding, and like people are freaking
That's his
out. and
eighth
asking
ticket, though. Would you
questions.
still have a
But
license?
you know what? The difference is, I would be in prison for 30 years if I drug a cop behind a car. And you guys not only don't mention that, not only forgive it, you suck up, Chike. And by the way, again, let's remind that this is a guy who chokes and cries at the Ryder Cup, and you people are, oh, Scotty Scheffler, like every time he goes to play the Ryder Cup, goes out of his way to humiliate America while trying to kill cops. Oh my God, speeding! Yeah, that's the end of the world. But Scotty Scheffler runs over a freaking cop. And we're all like, oh, okay, no big deal. Scotty's a good dude. What about him and his son? Look, he holds up his son after every tournament. What a charming man. What a wonderful. I hope my kids grow up to be like him. Attempted cop murderers. Yeah, great guy.
Wake up with Defo, joined by Lubie. Welcome to the Defo Show.
Very pleasant. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the program. Jeff DeForest. We got Mike Lubitz. Lubie's got to make an exit stage left pretty early today, so we're going to have an abbreviated, abridged Reader's Digest edition of the program. We'll be with you for about 20 minutes here, so a lot to cram in to a short period of time. And this is all in relation to news about one Luca Panici Lubitz, who will be, he's been progressing towards his emergence from the womb and presence on Earth, which is scheduled for November and right in the middle of the college football season.
Yes. My wedding.
Your wife is giving birth on the day when FSU was playing, Lubie. How do you play that?
I have a phone. I've gotten adept at watching a lot of you guys. You and Sir Greta were making fun of me as far as 6 years ago. The phone viewing experience has become something I'm very adept at. So I presume that'll be the way I live the rest of my life. Again, my wedding was in the middle of March Madness. Shirley doesn't
reschedule.
Yeah, Shirley doesn't care about any of that.
Oh, no.
It's on purpose half the time.
It's not good when they're unaware.
No, she doesn't. She actively wants me to miss sports. What are you talking about? Unaware.
I guess she would like you to change. All women seem to have that desire. Well, don't worry about it. Once we're married, I can change him, and then everything goes in the opposite direction. All right. So we're looking forward to news on that, and I'm sure the news is good because it seems to have gone very favorably.
Thank God,
all the way through, which is very. I mean, I'm starting to get excited about this.
This has been the most covered pregnancy ever.
Yeah, daily updates. It's fantastic. Yeah, it's much bigger than him. Can you tell which direction the ball is going in when Luka kicks? Because I think the Dolphins, do they need a punter? They cut a punter.
And Sanders is out a month and a half. they literally they did one kick early in the game. It was horrendous, and they never kicked again.
McDaniel is not prone to opting for the field goal, even when it can win the game at the end of the game. He's going to go ahead and go for it on a fourth down. He's got that little bit of Dan Campbell in him. All right, many things to get to today. I was talking about this yesterday, phantom plunger type of stuff. I'm always fascinated by this, and I'm not sure that anybody actually does this. I mean, do people really? I know in the case of the phantom plunger, this was a horse racing story, and it goes back to I'm sure it's happened at other racetracks around the country, but it was especially in vogue at Santa Anita with one particular gentleman who I don't know though it says he was a phantom. I'm not sure that he was ever identified. I would imagine somebody had to know who he was because this predated the days where you could bet all over the place and just sit at home. You're on the toilet and you're betting football on your phone. You had to actually show up with the money and place it with a parimutuel teller at the track. I'm not sure how this transaction went down because it would be kind of awkward, wouldn't it, if you were standing behind a guy and it was about to bet $100,000 to show on a horse? And actually did they count that out? This had to be done on some kind of special arrangement, would you think? With the guys in the money room where the guy just bought the attaché full of cash and they said, okay, well, we'll count it later. Don't worry about it or whatever. But anyway, uh, Phantom Plunger stories always fascinated me because I was there the day that a Phantom Plunger went down with a horse called Lemhi Gold. We've talked about this story. The horse had won a stakes race in his maiden appearance, the first time out. Laz Barrera, fabled trainer out in the West Coast, races this horse, Lemhi Gold, in a stakes race for 2-year-olds and goes out and wins as a maiden. And then comes back about a month and a half later and is in a 5-horse field. And the Phantom Plunger was known to come and bet 100,000, either 50 or 100,000. It varied a little bit, but when it was, I guess, I don't know how much more of a sure thing could you have than you're going to bet 50,000 a show on a horse. So whatever it was that he used as a criteria, he had upped this to 100 grand. So, and you would see this money because back in the day when people actually cared about win, place, and show at the racetrack, I don't even know if anybody does. I was next to a guy the other day at the track that was betting show on favorite horses. And look, everybody's entitled to have their fun any way they want. This guy probably left the track with far more money than I did, as I was like minus 250. Okay, and he left a winner, and he's yelling and screaming for these horses. They're going to pay 210 to show. And while it's a little bit annoying, especially when you're losing, look, everybody's entitled to approach anything any way that they want. I guess the overwhelming celebration for, oh, yeah, come on, look at that, too. I told you it was going to be in the money. And you're like, the horse is 2 to 5. No great thrill in that unless you're just motivated by the anxiety of the possibility of getting cremated financially in a wagering situation. So you're going to make 5 cents on a dollar. So a guy bets 100,000 a show on a horse. It's going to pay 210. You're going to make $5,000. If you knew that you could make 5% on your money, Lubie, would you be inclined to do that in a 2-minute span, less than 2 minutes? Minute 30, you can take 100 grand. If you went to the stock market, could you make 5,000 in a couple of minutes?
Well, you can make a lot more. I mean, when things.
If you're flipping houses, you're in real estate. If you're flipping houses and you knew that, okay, I'm going to sign this contract and I'm going to immediately sell this house. I'm going to put down $100,000. I'm going to get back 105. Would you be happy with that?
Yeah. Oh, and people do. My problem is doing it in horse racing because there's no guarantee win. Like
not as tangible of a result. Yes.
I know you guys. There have been races where you've been confident about it, and then it went that way. But being around the game now, 15 years or more with you guys, that happens less times, I think.
I don't see a lot of phantom plunging going on, but this guy was pretty consistent, and he was at Santa Anita. The Professor Gordon Jones, who recently passed away at like 90-something, one of my favorite characters I've ever run into at a racetrack, was always, he got so excited, and the buzz would go all throughout the press box, and then it would eventually permeate its way all throughout the racetrack. He's here, I can't believe it, he's here. Because you would see on the tote board, the totals were being, and there were always very tepid, mild totals that were in the show pool, especially early on. And then all of a sudden you'd say, God, I can't believe it, the plunger's taking a shot here. And mostly it would result in wins. But on this particular occasion, it went up in smoke. And I'm thinking, and you can do the math, you now have to win your next 20 bets to get even.
And they're all at that scale. They're all at that scale, so you're going to lose all you're going to win.
Jockey falls off, horse jumps the rail, something happens, gets left in the gate, whatever. I mean, it just too much. It's too much risk for the reward. Would you agree with that? I think most people would say, where you're talking about a real estate transaction, you know you're going to make the $5,000. The likelihood that the house catches fire before the second contract is signed is pretty slim, and even then you've got insurance and whatever. You have no assurance that this is going to happen. You just think that it's impossible that it won't.
Oh, good.
So I do remember that day, Lemhi Gold, blanket 4-horse finish, 5 horses in the field, 4 horses, noses on the wire, and Lemhi Gold, who got off to a horrible start on this race in the slop at Santa Anita. It was like a weekday also. So that added to the excitement because there wasn't much else going on that day. It was kind of quiet. And so the plunger goes down. He loses the 100,000 on the show bet. And it always attracted me to see these kind of wagers. I was talking about it yesterday on the Barrier Bookie show, where you had to lay, and I think we might have mentioned this, would you lay $10,000 to win 100 on Yannick Sinner, who won in straight sets, was never challenged, it was never threatened. If you put down the $10,000, you walked away with $100 bill. If you put down,
that's my thing is like, and we did talk about this yesterday, and I said it's ridiculous. I said in sports, there's so much things that can happen, and we've seen him play through injury, but he could still lose doing that it's not worth it. But okay, you have all the money. If you can throw down 10 grand on a game, I'm hoping it's that you're doing so well in life, it's just for fun, fine. But then what does $100 do for you? Like if you have 10 grand to just throw down, like it's like me winning $5. I like the $5, but it's not okay. I would have been fine without the fight. Like it's just a weird number to me. I don't understand that bet from any angle. Like I
don't either. I mean, because think about it. If you took $100 off the $10,000 wad that you were about to plunge down on Yannick Sinner, now you don't get the thrill of having and the excitement, the adrenaline rush of winning, I guess. But if you just took the $100 bill and threw it out your car window on your way to whatever wagering facility you were using, so you'd have $9,900. You'd still be in pretty good shape, and that would be more of an intelligent way of looking at it. But anyway, it almost happened last night. Coco Gauff was minus 2,500 against the lovely Ayla Tomljanovic. Now, Ayla Tomljanovic, you'll probably remember, was this 2023? She was at the U.S. Open. She's in the third round against Serena. Remember, Serena was making her final appearance at the U.S. Open.
Oh, that's who it was?
Yeah. She beat Serena in the third round, and it wasn't easy, and the entire crowd was against her, and that was pretty much the case last night. I don't know. They weren't so much against Tomljanovic. She seems to be a delightful young lady and has an interesting story. Her father's her coach, and he's a real character, and he's kind of a cool guy. She's had her share of ups and downs, bizarre relationships, actually. She was dating Nick Kyrgios, which I can't imagine. I don't know. Maybe Kyrgios is a different sort of guy when he's in a relationship than he is when he's in public as a tennis player. But
it happens, but
I mean, as a tennis player, he's just straight up an asshole, even though he's got tremendous talent. A lot of people like him. He's a good commentator, but it's one of those things like Mike Tannenbaum. No, it's not quite Tannenbaum.
He's good.
He played, and he knows what he's talking about.
He's just a jackass.
Right. But for him to be critical of players for behavioral issues.
It's like Johnny Mack. It's like Johnny Mack, who was a great. It's cool when he talks tennis, but whenever he would be like, oh, she needs to calm down, it's like, really, John?
There's a guy who was psychotic out there. So Coco, I mean, is going against Tomljanovic. She's minus 2,500. So you have to lay 2,500 to win 100 on Coco Gauff last night. First round. We've seen some first round exits. There was a reason I almost gave this out as a pick. And so it would have been a loser anyway. I mean, it would have been wrong as it turned out. But a 3-set bloodbath. I mean, an almighty struggle that Coco didn't pull out until the very end. And finally, after being broken at 5-4, she's serving for the match. She gets broken. It's 5-5. She comes back and wins the next couple of games. She broke back Tomljanovic. But she'd been having issues with her serve. She got a new coach. She fired her coach just before the tournament that she'd been with for a while. Brings in this guy who's like a sabermetrics analytics scientist, biochemist or whatever he is. And he's going to straighten out her serve. Now, her serve, she's not going far with this serve. She's throwing lollipops in there. She's throwing serves in there that look like they were coming off the racket of Dr. Jerry in the Alzheimer's Cup. 88 miles an hour.
No. No.
So it's a girl, I think she was bringing it. I don't know if she reached $120, but I think she was consistently between 110, 120 miles an hour. I mean, she has a good serve. She just was vulnerable to double faults. In fact, excessively so. To the point where, like Sabalenka a few years ago, she kind of had the yips and was constantly executing double faults. She had quite a few of them in this match. Nothing overwhelmingly absurd because of the fact that it went 3 sets and a lot of games. It was 6-4. It was a tiebreaker in the second set and then 7-5. So a lot of games. I think she had 7 or 8 double faults. Jesus. So that wasn't so much the issue. But I mean, throwing lollipops in there. If she's going against one of these beasts that crushes service returns, I don't know that she's around for the third set in that match. So I'm not sure she solved the problem. There were many issues there. So I'm wondering if anybody was inclined to bet 2,500 to win 100 on Coco Gauff last night, because you had to be fueled by self-sabotage.
They'd be freaking out.
And I don't know that. Yeah, go ahead.
I guess you got your money's worth because you got a lot of action.
You get your money's worth of anxiety. Holy crap. I couldn't help but think about what was there anybody out there that did that went ahead and laid that kind of capital out to watch Coco Gauff against Tomljanovic. And I almost gave it out as like, take a shot. You were only getting plus 900 on Isla Tomljanovic, and you were probably getting much more than that after she lost the first set. So that's part of my new theory in gambling. Wait till the situation appears to be completely hopeless, and then unload on the team or the player that seems to be in an impossible circumstance to come away with the win. It happened in the NBA playoffs consistently, right? I don't know if we're going to see it in the NFL or college football, but we almost saw it last night. There have been other examples of it on the tennis circuit, but Phantom Plungers had to. I mean, you talk about feeling like you just got gang raped at Oz. Unbelievable! You had to have a real twitch in your fanny as you were watching that match last night. If you had your money on Coco Gauff, and to her credit, she ended up hitting a couple of wild, just outstanding backhands up the line that saved her in this match. She made a few good plays. Real good match, though. I mean, very competitive. It was worthy of being much deeper in the tournament than an opening round match, as we were talking about. With the tennis tournament, you had some pretty compelling first round matches there. But wow, I couldn't help but think about the poor sucker that went ahead and now, does that person come out of the sports book after watching that match and start bragging? I told you she couldn't lose.
Oh, for sure.
Walk away with his $200 for the $5,000 that you had at risk.
As your ears puckered up.
Yeah, that'd be rough. All right, a bunch of developments here. NFL cut down day has come and gone. I didn't see anything really significant about the Miami Dolphins. They cut that guy Hilton, a secondary guy. I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday who's a pretty good, knowledgeable football guy. He thinks the Dolphins are going to be fine on defense.
Oh, okay.
He says they got a great pass rush, and I don't know. Do they have any linebackers of significance?
People talk about them like they do. I don't remember them having these great linebackers. I know the one kid, Jordan, I can't remember his last name, played really well, but they didn't have three. I guess Chubb or Phillips plays linebacker.
Robinson, he was good last year, right? The chopper.
Those guys, I guess, play as linebackers, but they're pass rushers. They're not in coverage. They don't even care about the run half the time. But look, I hope he's right. Anthony Weaver's shown himself to be a good defensive coordinator. They ended up being in the top 10 defensively last year. Their secondary is abysmal. I mean, we haven't seen them with Fitzpatrick yet, so a good safety can help stem the tide a little bit. I mean, there's just some interesting corners out there. And to me, if you don't go after a Rasul Douglas, I think that's stupid. Like, find some money. You need at least one good corner, one good safety. And then, especially with a really good pass rush, you could probably get by. You can't just Storm Duck may be a fun name to say, especially in South Florida with our rains, especially the last few days. But that's not a starting corner in the NFL. That's just not, at least right now.
Yeah. Injuries at the position have hurt the Miami Dolphins. I don't know if you could pass on a team all day long in today's NFL. You would have to think that is a negative sign in terms, not a positive indicator that you're going to have a great season. I believe this to be true, Lubie. I don't know. I was on with the Greek the other day, and he was saying that you have to lay 200 to win 100 if you want the under on the Dolphins of 8.5 games.
So
doesn't that seem a little odd? I mean,
favorite. Yeah,
I think that number's right there. I don't know. I mean, I would be inclined to think that they might win 9 again, but who the hell knows? I mean, like you said, you can't necessarily make a judgment based on the fragility of the status of Tua Tagovailoa. If this guy misses 5 games and you have to play Zach Wilson, I can't imagine that that's going to be beneficial for you. Speaking of quarterbacks, and that was the interesting thing, these are quarterbacks. It's not a quarterback-rich league at this stage.
No.
You have Spencer Rattler is going to start for the Saints, second-year guy.
Yes.
He was 0-6 last year as a starter. Now, the Saints weren't very good. He threw 4 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. He beats out, I think it's Tyler Show is how you say this guy's name.
That's what they've been saying, yeah.
He was the 40th pick overall in this year's draft. So not a very favorable situation for the Saints. Would they be interested in anybody on this list? These are guys, quarterbacks that are available now. Pretty illustrious. Bailey Zappi, John Walford.
Oh, Jesus.
Hendon Hooker. Is that it? Hendon Hooker.
Yeah,
Dorian
yeah.
Thompson Robinson, the guy from UCLA.
Yeah.
Kyle Trask. Kyle McCord, the Syracuse guy.
Yep.
Brett Rippon. Easton Stick.
Okay.
Desmond Rattler.
These guys were on rosters?
Desmond Ritter. These are guys that got cut. They're available.
They were on a roster and then had to be cut.
Cut. These were guys that were cut yesterday.
I haven't heard any of these names in a couple years.
DJ Beathard. He's been around for a while.
Yeah, exactly. Again, these are all names I thought were long gone for me.
I'm reading these in reverse order of the way they were rated by a guy who was writing about this on the CBS Sports Line. So the number 2 guy that's available that got cut yesterday is Tommy DeVito.
Oh, he actually got cut? Yeah. And
the best is Tyler Huntley.
Huntley is a real backup. I don't know why Huntley can't find a backup job if Rattler can start. Huntley's good enough to be a backup. The rest of those guys, they're all names I heard in college. They were interesting quarterbacks, but they have not shown themselves to be NFL quarterbacks.
Imagine you're a GM somewhere and you're in desperate need of a quarterback, even a backup, and you're looking over this list. Holy moly. It's kind of like...
we thought Jameis would get a call, because you can say whatever you want about Jameis. He's better than any of those guys.
No doubt. I mean, light years ahead of all those guys. I know you got to run, Lubie, so we barely got started here. It actually was a good lesson for me because it took 25 minutes to even get the show rolling. That's
for those days that you think you want to do 30 minutes, I've laughed at you. You couldn't do 30 minutes.
I didn't get to anything. I got obsessed with this Coco match. I found myself, and I'm a big Coco fan. I love the girl. Yeah. She's accomplished so much, and she's a delightful person.
She's still young. I forget how young she is. She's still young.
She's already won slams. She's done more in tennis than a lot of people would do if they were around for 15, 20 years. She has been around for a while. But I found myself rooting against her just for the phantom plunger principle, thinking that there is some schmuck out there that's got a ticket on Coco Gauff for $2,500 that is hoping to cash and get back $2,600. And I don't know why. I mean, a sadistic part of me, it just wants to see those situations pop up where people get annihilated for making a schmuck bet like that. All right. Let's hope it's all good news. So enjoy the appointment there. I know it's got to be fun for you, Lubie. A little stressful maybe, but fun otherwise. How's the wife? Sir. I mean, any moodiness starting to show up? Or
She's been good. She's actually settled in. We started third trimester, and the second half of the second trimester into this has been a lot more. Like, we found the stuff that works and doesn't work, so she's settled in a little bit.
Got a little rhythm there going. Okay. All right. Well, let's hope it's good news, and we will see you guys tomorrow. We'll have a full spectrum going.
College football. I think there's a game tomorrow. I think Boise State plays tomorrow.
Bunch of games, I think, Thursday night. Yeah, so it's gone underway, and then the professor will be with us on Friday. Yes, so we'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Sorry for the abbreviated edition of the show, but we'll catch you next time. There will
be a trivia challenge. That's what I meant to say. There will be a trivia challenge. We'd love some new shooters, as Defo likes to say. That would be wonderful.
Oh, very good. All right, we'll see you next time as we leave you now that.
The time?
8:27.
Let's go to eat a damn snack.